How was your trip? You've been gone on a trip. Y'all were gone for 2 weeks?
Yeah, the trip was good. We were gone for 2 weeks. We went over to Europe and went. It was an event. You know, it was one thing then the other. Just like we talked about on our first episode, we get out of this country or out of this area, and we're like fish out of water. But you just got to roll with it. So we take off and we fly from Louisville to New York, or to Newark, which is right across the bay from New York. And basically, we were late getting out of Louisville, and we only had a couple-hour layover. And so basically, we walk off the plane and walk down the airport and get on the other one. There was really no wait around time. But we fly into London, and when we get there, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, they are 7 hours ahead of us. So it's be 10 o'clock at night. Our bodies think it's 10 o'clock. And, we've been up all day already. I'm tired.
True jet lag.
True jet lag. Yeah, it's the worst. I mean, people talk about jet lag, and when you can fly to Colorado and go an hour, or go to New York and go an hour. It's not bad, but you go that many hours, and I mean, it messes with your head. So instead of going to a hotel like we should have, Lindsay has got every minute of our trip already pre-planned. Well, the first week of it, anyhow. And she's like, well, we can rent a car and we can drive up to the Coswalks, which is an area, and see that. And then we can come back. We had tickets for some other stuff. I'm like, Lindsay, we got about 3 hours here. I think we need to just relax. Oh, no, let's do it. Okay. So I'm not riding with her in a foreign country. If you ever hear of us wrecking in a foreign country and she was driving, somebody shot me or something. I mean, she's good at a lot of stuff. A little weak on the driving side.
Especially when you get to changing lanes.
Well, especially, over there you're on the wrong.
When you're throwing a little wrinkle in it.
Yeah, in England you're on the wrong side of the road.
Oh, my bunch can drive fine over there.
Professional. Huh?
Yeah, because they're on the wrong side all the time.
Well, so you're in the right-hand side of the car on the left-hand side of the road. You go around roundabouts on the wrong, you go around, clockwise, I guess that, but yeah.
So here's something I've wondered for years and years. Did you have a manual transmission car?
I did.
Is the shift pattern the same as here, or is it backwards?
The shift pattern is the same as here. So it is you shift left-handed, but it is the same. First is in the same position. Now reverse is all the way over and up, like where first would be in a 5-speed truck. So it is like.
So did that take some getting used to, shifting with your left hand?
So
like
I'm almost ambidextrous, and I do a lot of stuff left-handed. I shoot pool left-handed, swing baseball bat left-handed. I write right-handed. I actually write with both hands. So it really is not hard for me to do that, but I think it would be hard for a lot of people to do that. But we managed. But we go up to this area, and it's little shops and stuff, and then we drive back to Windsor Castle, which is kind of the country estate for the queen or the
royal
king,
family.
The royal family, yeah. And so we go in this place, and there are people from all over the world there. It's not Americans, it's not English. I mean, literally, there you hear languages that their dialect you don't even recognize. And not that I'm in tune with that, but.
See, I heard a guy say that on top of an electric pole one night.
Yeah, that's what people saying.
Yeah,
that's the language he was speaking.
I seen a guy speaking that one time.
So we go in there and they route you through this. They just don't let you walk free, right? You start in the door and they route you through, and you come out another door on the other side. But it's a slow crawl the whole way. And so Lindsay and her daughter are ahead of us, and Jack and I are back there. And Jack is, he's 18, and he's the most least confrontational person that I know. And if you get into it, if you stir Jack up, I don't know that I've ever seen him mad. I think he would like to be mad sometime, but he never lets it out. He must get that from somebody besides either side of the family. John's from his other side of the family.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from one, so I mean, I don't know where he gets it from, but. So there is this lady behind us who is she's probably in her 50s, I guess, and she is pushing us. And she is just trying to bully right up between us. And so I politely put my elbow in front of her and kind of pushed back.
So y'all are in this big group of caravan of people almost.
We're in a train of people that's 2 people wide. And she is tired of waiting, and she is trying to just push between us. And so I got Jack on her hand, so I kind of eased her back. About the third time I turned around, I said, "You don't push me again." You know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I've been up hours, probably 24 hours at this point. And here she comes again. I said, if you and you all understand me that's with her, you better tell her not to push me again. And so they went to talking something, and she backed off, But, I mean, that's just the mentality over there. I mean, there are other cultures. If you see video of other cultures, they are shoulder to shoulder walking down the street, and they just push and shove. And so, you kind of fight that some. But anyhow, so we left there, and we go to Buckingham Palace and see London, and then we get on a bullet train. You hear them talk of bullet trains.
What's the mile per hour?
Well, so we get on this thing, and when we go to walk down beside it to get on it, I thought, man, that thing's plastered with bugs. What? Why are there so many bugs on that? And so we're on this train, and it is a 2-hour ride from London to Paris under the English Channel. And you're cooking down through there, and you're seeing, you can see out the windows. And I've got a speedometer app on my phone that I used for our boat when we were pulling the kids. The speedometer didn't work. I wonder how fast we're going. I click that thing over. We're on 185 mile an hour on this train, and it's like going 30. I've been 185. I run 185 in front of your house in that Corvette that time. And I mean, I have been that in a car, and life is going by so fast you don't realize it.
But not in that.
But in that train, it was just like riding 30 down the car. I thought, that thing's messed up. And so Jack's got one, too, different app, and I said, pull that up. He turned around. His was the same thing. I thought, my goodness. So we roll into Paris to see the sights there, and we had stayed a night in England, so we go into Paris the next day, and we go see the Eiffel Tower, which is the epicenter of the Olympics. We booked this trip and had no idea the Olympics were going on. Jack's got a little girl that he was a foreign exchange student. I can't remember her name. I call her Wee Wee when I talk to her about it. He doesn't find humor in it. So what's old Wee Wee been into? He doesn't find humor in it. I told him we were going. I said, hey, tell little Wee Wee that we'll pay her to be our tour guide in Paris if she wants to. So
you have a shirt that says Wee Wee on it or anything?
No. I mean, I don't know if her driver's license says that, but I mean, I can't pronounce her. I literally cannot pronounce her name. So anyhow,
we're with Wee Wee shirts or nothing.
Yeah. So he comes back a few days later. He said, hey, you know the Olympics are going on in Paris while we're there? I'm like, no. And this girl's like, we're not going to be in Paris. We're going out. They went to like Singapore or somewhere.
Get out of the city.
Yeah. There were 15 million extra people in this town. So we're dreading it. We're thinking shoulder to shoulder. And we get there, and it's like Brownsville on a Saturday night. I don't know where everybody was. And so we get to the Eiffel Tower, and you don't realize how big this thing is. It is massive. I've been to the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is small in comparison to the Eiffel Tower. And so we've got tickets to go up to the top of this thing. And so we get up there, and somebody says, well, let's just walk down. We walk down like 400 flights of stairs. And you think, well, you're going down. But I'm telling you, my legs were like jello by the time we got to the bottom of those. And, of course, it's just nothing to them. So, but anyhow, that was probably one of the prettier things we saw. It was at night and lit up. And we saw Notre Dame Cathedral, which had caught on fire. They're rebuilding it and stuff. So the next day,
are they still working on that?
Oh, yeah,
could you see
there's scaffolding set up? Yeah. So apparently, and I don't know, I didn't research this, but I don't think Europe allows ladders in construction. If you go to anywhere in Europe I've ever been, if they're doing construction, even on a house, if they're replacing the window on a house, they have big scaffolding set up outside. And so I don't know if that's a thing over there, but I mean, there are trucks going everywhere, scaffolding hanging off of it, but they have scaffolding set up basically completely around this monstrosity. That is a huge building. It's not a St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
St. John's will fit in the foyer of this thing. So we get in a car and we head out of Paris, and first thing we hit a toll road, and I'm like, oh, they're going to toll us to death here, and so we come to the toll booth. Everything's in French. I have no idea what anything says. And so there's a ticket sticking out. So I reach over and pull that ticket. Well, that gate comes up. Hey, good enough. Out the gate I go, So we go about 20 miles, and there's another toll booth. And so I pull in. It's got a place you can see stick that ticket, and I stick that ticket in. It's like $2.80. I scan my credit card. Another thing over there, you don't insert credit cards in anything. Everything's tap. Yep. If you have to insert a credit card, they look at you like you're stupid. So you tap, and the gate comes up. And when you get to those toll booths, there is a lane for fast pass.
Where you've probably traveled that every day. And
Yeah, you've got some kind of sensor or something. Or,
and you're just going through.
Yeah, or you have an account, and they bill you by the license plate. Of course, we're in a rental car. Another lane, credit card, and another lane, it's got an attendant. So, pay the toll. And I find out later after this trip that if you pull one of those tickets and you get to that toll booth faster than you should, you get a speeding ticket.
Wow.
So they're timing you also.
Yeah. Which the speed limit's like 80. 130 kilometers an hour, which I think's 80. Which my mind never could get used to looking down that speedometer at 130 for that long. You know, I like to go fast, but I like to go fast, slow back down, cruise about 65, 70. I'm grandpa when it comes to driving long ways. So we take off. We go a little further. And it's toll booths like every 20 miles. $2, $3. But I will tell you, I never saw a pothole anywhere in France. The roads are like glass. I mean, they're perfect.
Blacktop concrete.
It's a form of blacktop, I think. You know, concrete will bust up, and I think this is a form of blacktop. So we're driving. Their kids are kind of getting restless, and they're needing to stretch their legs. And so this is one that really stuck with me. I just get off the interstate, and we're in a little old town. I think it's called Auxerre, Auxeer is how you'd say it. I don't have the French dialect to make it roll off my tongue and make it sound romantic by any means, but...
Go ahead and try it if you want to.
No, you're sitting too close. I'm afraid. So we get off in this town, and this town's about like Brownsville, and maybe even a Caneyville. It's a small town. And we get out, there's a basilica there, and it hit me while we were there that the fault of the Catholic Church, and, you know, I grew up Catholic, I've been to a lot of Catholic churches, but years ago when the Catholic Church was big and rolling and everybody went, they were rolling money and they built these nice, elaborate buildings. And now not a lot of people go. And so these buildings are just falling apart. We saw numerous churches. Nice. I mean, like, they would be cathedrals in America, just in the country, that were just falling apart.
Just not enough people there to keep the money
it
to go.
cost millions of dollars to fix some of that stuff. So we get out there and they're looking at it, and I'm like, well, you know, because I'm a big World War II buff. You know, I like that war. I like to watch movies about it. And so my whole goal in going over there was to see some of that area. I really wanted to see like Normandy and Omaha Beach and stuff, but it was the opposite way of where we were going, and it was way out of our way. So we're in this town. I wonder if this town's got anything in it. And so I Googled it, and it really didn't, but it said that little old small town, that when World War II happened and Hitler come through, that there were 80 people in that town, 80 Jewish people in that town that they took, and they never heard from again.
Yeah.
You know, they just put them through the concentration camps
Sure.
or something. I mean, you think about that. If 80 people just all of a sudden disappeared from
Right.
Brownsville or Caneyville, that's pretty, I mean, I can't imagine
Right,
that. So.
right.
But anyhow.
And that happened over and over and over in them little towns over there.
Those little towns over there are just like the towns here. There's a church. There's a town built around the church. Their small towns are still thriving, though, because there's no big box stores. And people, fuel's high over there. People don't drive to Litchfield to get something. They go to their local town, and they spend their money there. So the towns are still thriving. But so we're going to Switzerland at this point, and we get to the border, and we could take the car that we had into Switzerland. It's going to cost us another $1,000. So we had to stop at an airport, drop our car off, walk 300 yards to the other side of the airport, which is on the other side of the border. The airport's on the border. Rent another car and take back off, say it's $1,000.
Wow.
So the borders are open over there. You can just drive right across them. They have border stations and there's guards out there, but I just waved and kept on driving. I don't know. They may be looking for me over there, but I assume they're driving. So we ended up spending the night and going on up into Germany, and we saw, and I've got to say it with the German flair, as I've been told, Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the castle that Snow White was, or not Snow White, yeah, Snow White was Cinderella. The castle Cinderella's castle was moated off of. It's on a mountain. It's pretty. And back into Switzerland the next day, and we spent our first night in Germany with no air conditioner in the hotel. I did not realize that they even had hotel rooms, no air conditioner anymore.
I didn't
but
either.
You have to specify over there.
That was a big deal with the Olympics, if you watched any of that.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have some kind of eco-friendly air system, and they didn't. And so a lot of countries shipped window units or like stand-up air conditioners in because it was pretty hot when you were over there?
It was 95 degrees and the humidity, it was about like here.
Yeah, it was pretty hot over there. And
So
those athletes were not getting any rest when they were not competing,
I totally understand that.
Well, so we spend the night with the windows open, and once it cooled off, about 11, 12 o'clock, the room kind of cooled down, so it's bearable. But we go back into Switzerland, we stop at a McDonald's, and I've got my phone set up to where if I have more than $100 charge on my credit card, it sends me an alert. And so we stop at McDonald's, 4 of us. I don't even remember what it cost, but they're in the Frank over there. And so we go to McDonald's, and we're sitting there eating, and I get a notification. I look, and it's $108. And I thought, well, that ain't right. And sure enough, whatever that was converted to $108 for us to eat 4 meals at McDonald's.
So that's a delicacy probably over there.
Well, McDonald's has got like curly fries and waffle fries and like pizza pocket type things and the chicken nuggets. And I mean, it's better food than over here, which makes no sense, but it is. So we ride a train over the Swiss Alps into the southern part of Switzerland, which was a 5-hour train trip because it was a slow train up through the mountains. It was pretty. But we get into Italy, and this is kind of where it was just something all the time. We get into Italy, and we were in a car, and we're going down the road, and we get to the toll booth. Same deal as before. Pull up, ticket hanging out. Pull the ticket, the arm doesn't come up. And so I'm like, what in the world? And so I touch my credit card to it. It hits me for $2, opens it up. Well, I do this 2 or 3 more times. And we get into it. You've heard the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We get to Pisa and see the Leaning Tower. And I don't know what keeps that thing from falling over, but I mean, it's really got a list to it. And we go to a hotel. And we had not reserved a room at a hotel. We were just going to kind of see how far we got. So Lindsay gets online. She said, I found us a cliffside hotel on the coast. I said, well, that sounds romantic. Shame we got the kids with us, but, it. And so we get there, and there is about a 6-car parking lot with a gate in front of it at this hotel. And I pull up, and the gate doesn't come up. I blow the horn, the gate doesn't come up. And so by the time I'm going to bump the gate with the car, it comes up. I pull in, Lindsay's like, just sit here. There's no, the spots are full. She said, just sit here, let me go and see. So she goes in, I pull my phone out, I'm checking, news or whatever, and I look up, and there's this lady come out, and she's at a full march coming out of the front of this place. Why are you in this parking lot? And she has got a Russian accent to her. We're in Italy, but she's got like a Russian accent to her. And I said, I think we're checking in. Well, you can't park here. Well, where am I supposed to park? She said, you got to find public parking. You can't park here. I said, can we sit here until we got 4 big suitcases. Can we sit here until we get our suitcases? You've got 5 minutes. Oh, okay. So, Lindsay's getting checked in, dragging suitcases in. And we had got a room with 2 double beds, but they did not have that. So they gave us 2 rooms with single beds. So Jack and I are going to bunk in one. Lindsay and her daughter Elaine are going to bunk in the other. So I go in, I tell Jack, go and get in the shower so when I get back to parking this car, I can get in. Okay. So we walk out the door. Lindsay, I said, you want to ride with me? Yeah, I'll ride with you. Hey, we went like 2 miles before we found the parking spot. And it's not level there. It is this hotel is on the side of a cliff, and the parking is 2 miles up this hill on top of this cliff. I forget how many 100 steps it was down to. And I was thinking, my fat hind end's going to die tomorrow.
I just fell and rolled.
I was going to let Jack go get it. I didn't let him drive over, but I thought I'm just going to let him go get that in the morning. So I get back to the room. We're probably gone 30, 45 minutes time all this. And I hit the doors. I walk in. Jack, hurry up. He said, I'm done. Okay. He said, but I'm stuck. And I said, you're stuck? He said, yeah, I'm stuck in this room or in this bathroom. I said, what do you mean you're stuck in the bathroom? He said, the door won't open. I said, well, what'd you lock the door for? You afraid somebody going to come in? I didn't lock it. And I said, Jack, quit messing around. Come on. He said, I'm telling you, the door won't open. And so I walk over to the door, and it has got a porcelain knob. Remember those porcelain knobs like at your grandma's house?
Yeah.
Had the metal latch on
Yes.
it. Well, that's how this door is, only that latch is inside the door. The door is routed out, and it's in there. And it takes old skeleton key to open it. And I said, is there not a key in there? He said, yeah, there's a key in here. But he said, it's stuck. It won't turn. Quit messing around, boy. He said, I'm telling you, it won't. So we jack with the door. And I thought, gosh, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to walk down to Lindsay's room and get her key out of her bathroom. So I go down there, I get her key, come back, stick it at the door, and sure enough, it's solid in there. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? So I thought, I'm going to have to go deal with that pissed off lady.
The Russian lady?
Was the lady who was running the front desk. I forgot to tell that part.
Customer service.
Customer service, hey, she had 5 stars.
Yeah.
So I go down there and I
Afraid not
said,
to give them to her.
yeah, I said, ma'am, I've got a problem. She said, what?
What now?
And I said, we've got a door that won't open. And she said, well, just jiggle the key. I said, no, it's solid. It's solid. So here she comes, and I mean, stomps down the hallway. And she walks past the bathroom. There's a balcony. And I said, no, it's the bathroom door. And she turns around. She said, the bathroom door's stuck? And I said, yeah. She said, why did you shut the bathroom door? Well, he wanted to take a shower.
Yeah.
Well, why did he shut it? I said, well, we're Americans, and we shut the door and we shower.
You should just blame on Jack. I don't know why that boy does this.
I should told her the real reason. I didn't. So the air conditioner, it had one of those ductless units like you got hanging on the wall here in there, and we got there, it was off. Well, I'd had it sit on like 60. It was an ice box in there because I'd been gone long enough. She's over messing with that door, and I kept saying, I've done that. I think you need to spray some WD-40 in there. I've done that. She finally says, well, I guess I'll just go get the owner. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, so off she goes. And I hear something, and I turn and look, and they is about an 80-year-old mad Italian man comes in my room. About 6'2", weighs about 110 pounds.
With the original keys to the door.
He had keys. But him and his wife had owned this since they were in their 20s. And
Really?
It was a family-owned deal. They had done zero maintenance to it. It was not a nice place by any means. And he goes over there, and he cannot speak English. And he goes over there, and he's wearing that door out. And so finally he turns around, and I don't know what he says, but it's mean. And the lady, the Russian lady, turns the air conditioner off. So he was not liking I had that air conditioner.
Running my electric bill.
Oh,
up.
yeah. So he messes with it.
Done froze the door up in
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And so I said, "Dude, I think you need to spray oil in it. You know?" And the whole time I was thinking, if Jack was out here, Jack would have that door open in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, this is a no-brainer for him. And so Jack's in there. And I finally tell her, I said, tell him he just needs to spray some oil in it. So she rattles something off, you know. He leaves, comes back with penetrating oil, and then he won't spray it in the keyhole. He sprays it on the key and sticks it in there. I'm like, no, man, spray it up in there. No, and he won't do it. So he finally goes back and comes back with 3 crowbars, and he goes to driving them in that door.
That'll work.
I mean, hammer, bow, bow. Almost midnight at this point in a hotel. Bow, bow. And Lindsay calls. She's like, what is going on down there? I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but Jack's stuck in the bathroom. They're crowbarring the door. And so I'm getting over there, and as he would drive one, another one would loosen up. And he is cussing in Italian, I'm sure, just hard as he can go. And so he hits one, and that bottom crowbar swings down. Well, I reach over and grab it, and he yanks it out of my hand and pushes my hand back. And I was like, oh, man. But they crowbar that door. I mean, and the door flies open, door jam falls off, and there stands Jack in his towel.
You should look at him and say, this is all your fault, son.
Yeah.
What you
I said,
do?
this is what that
What you do?
Yeah. I said, if they bill me for this, you're paying for it, you know. So we get up the next morning, we drive on into Rome, and Rome is interesting. If anybody ever wants to go there, I think everybody ought to go see it one time. But I'd never go back twice. It is a busy, dirty place. And so we went to the Vatican, and we got to actually see the Pope and go to an audience with him. Then we toured the Vatican, saw the Colosseum, and all that stuff. But after that, we get up the next day, and we are going to go see Pompeii. Y'all remember Pompeii from when we were kids, where the volcano erupted? So it's 3 hours down the coast, and we're going to go see that. We take a train to Naples, which is the next town down. And we get in a rental car, and we take off, and we're going down through there, and we hit that first toll booth. And so, as we're going into that toll booth, there is a handwritten sign in French hanging on the toll booth.
What did it say?
In French, hanging on the toll booth. It said, oui, oui. I think we wrote it. We're in the credit card line. Keep this in mind. We're in the line under the credit card. There is a quick pass, a credit card line, and a attendant line. We're in the credit card line, no attendant. So I pull up there, scan my credit card. I'm like, well, that's odd. Scan my credit card. And over there, if people riding your bumper bothers you, you don't need to go. And when the light turn greens, if you're not already rolling, they're on the horn. I mean, it is just craziness. And so I'm like, well, what the heck? And so she's got a credit card and I got a credit card. So I've got hers. So I pull hers out, hit it. I'm like, well, what's going on here? And so it's got a place to put dollars. And so I had three $50 euros. So I pull one of those out, stick it in, it spits it back out at me. And I thought, well, that's not good. And so there's a silver button, and I push it, and this guy comes on talking in Italian. I said, English. He said, no credit card. And I said, okay, I've got euro. He said, 5 10s and 20s only. I've got 3 50s. I can pay. What do I do? You know. So, click. He's gone. Gate still down. I can't go anywhere. Guy on a motorcycle behind me is already holding his hands up like this, you know. And I look behind him, and you can't see the end of the cars.
Horns blowing.
Horns blowing. I mean, and so I push that button again. Somebody else comes on. I said, English. Guy said, no credit card. Different guy. I said, I understand that. I've got a credit card. I've got 350 euros. I don't know what to do. Click. He's gone.
He said, me neither.
Yeah. And at this point, my blood pressures went through the roof.
He's one of the same customer service.
I'm already having one of
hotel
those.
lady.
I had a little, we'll call it a little McKinney coming out
Yeah,
of me. I mean,
yeah.
it was a lot of foul language coming out. And I pushed that button a third time. I said, English. Guy said, how can I help you? I said, you open this blankety blank door up on this gate, or I'm running through it. Whoop, click. Out it I went.
You said the password.
I said the password. But come to find out, they had got into it. There's a northern part of Italy and southern part of Italy when it comes to the roads, and they had a falling out, and the northern part had took care of the credit cards. Well, they had shut the southern parts off, and so it was cash only, and so it was very stressful, and so we went to Pompeii. Now we all grew up around Mammoth Cave around here, right? We know it is a national park. You don't take anything out of Mammoth Cave. You don't tear anything up. You don't pick flowers. We all know that, right? I mean, we grew up with that. We walk in. Now, this is about, I don't know how many acres this city is, but they have excavated this city to the point you can see their blacktop roads or their rock paved roads, their drains, their plumbing, their mosaics on the wall. It is a national treasure over there. Probably more so, I ain't going to say more so, but it's right up there with the Vatican, which the Vatican is its own country. But, I mean, it brings a lot of tourism dollars in. We walk into that place. We walk up the hill. It is 100 degrees. We are melting down. We find a shady spot just big enough for all 4 of us to walk into. And we're standing there at this big rock wall, and my son reaches over
and locks himself in the... No, I'm just kidding.
Does that, and pulls a rock about the size of a softball beside one of them walls, and is standing there with it.
He doesn't throw it? What's wrong with him?
I said, what have you done? He says, what? I said, put that back. What have you done? He said, what are you talking about? I said, why do you have that rock in your hand? He said, it just was loose. And I said, so you decided to yank it off the wall? He said, it's a rock. I said, you better put that back. He puts it up, it won't stay, you know. I'm like, just put it down. He said, what's the big deal? I said, Jack, they have spent 300 years over here uncovering this city with spoons, chainsaw files, and toothbrush brushes.
Yeah, brushes. I guarantee you there's somebody brushed around that rock for 2 years.
Yeah, and I said, you walk up and yank a softball off the side of it instantly? I don't see what the big deal is. I said, Jack, if every dumb American tourist walked up and pulled a rock off, this would be a field in 50 years.
Be a parking lot.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, and he throws it, puts it down. I said, I cannot believe you just did that. I was like, boy, you're 18 now. You being in an Italian jail, have you not saw the craziness on the streets? They're in there too. But I was so put out with him. But we go after that. We go back, take the train back, or drive back to Naples. Take the train back to Rome, and we get in a Uber car. And I'm not kidding you all. This old boy in an Uber car drives 6 blocks and never looks out the windshield of the car. That is the God's honest truth. He
Looking at you.
He's like Chad Jagger driving a Job Corps bus.
When I got in there, he was into an argument with somebody on the phone. I assume it was an argument. And he hangs up.
Was he saying some of the things that Italian man was saying in your room? Or?
Basically. Yeah,
Okay.
it was sounding familiar.
I'd say it was an argument.
It all sounded like Pete Graham on top of that phone.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And so when he hangs the phone up and we take off, he is got his phone up and he's got it down like this, and he never takes his eyes off that phone for 6 blocks. We went through 2 roundabouts straight through the middle of them. Us in there. There's no lines on the roads over there, so they're just going everywhere. And I'm like, oh my! I'm sitting up front with him, and he keeps calling me big man.
Big man.
Can I get big man? You better get a big man. And he's this big around, so I'm offended. If somebody fat calls me fat, it's okay. But when you weigh 70 pounds, you call me fat.
You know they mean it.
You're lucky
then.
we went home, I hit you in the mouth.
Yeah, they mean it.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so we get out of the car, told Lindsay, I said, I feel like I need to go fill out near miss reports right now. So we go back and we see Rome, and we end up flying out of Rome. And we fly from Rome to New York. And we land, and everybody in the cabin's phones start going off, including mine. And I look at it, and they have canceled our flight from New York to Louisville, which, yeah, I was going to be home in 3 hours.
Yeah, we seen you on TV.
Well, so Lindsay's over there, and my wife's a guru on the phone. If you need to know something, she can take that phone and find out more than a whole office full of people can on a computer. It amazes me. And so we're not even off the plane yet, and she's like, and this is Friday night. She's like, I don't think we can get out of New York till late Sunday. I said, well, that's not going to work. I got to be back at work Monday. We don't even have rooms. That's not going to work. She said, well, that's all I'm seeing. I said, we can't get to, Nashville or St. Louis or anywhere. And no. I said,
Wait, he tried to play this really good, because I heard part of this story, and I don't know if he's going to do this part. He said, I've been wanting a new truck. Let's go find a Chevrolet dealer.
I did.
He was trying to parlay that into a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard about
Good move. I like
Have
that.
you heard about, hey, let's just go buy a truck and drive it home. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going to wait. Okay. No rental cars. It's the 3rd time this has happened to us. We get back in somewhere, and our connecting flight gets canceled, and you're just stuck. And so I tell her, I'm like, Sunday's not going to work. I said, let's go to the United ticket counter and see what they can do. So we walk through the airport, get our bags, go to the United ticket counter. There are 25 people sitting behind this counter playing on their phones. There's not a soul standing in front of them. I walk up to the one that I thought would be the friendliest and said, hey, buddy, our flight is one of the 170 you all just canceled.
You said, hey, big man.
Yeah. I should have. He would have qualified. I said, we need some help trying to get back to Louisville. And he hands me a business card with a QR code on it. Says, here, just scan this. So I scan it, and it takes me to the website she's already on. And I said, no, that's not going to work. I said, we're kind of struggling here. I said, he said, well, that's the best I've got. I said, what do you mean? He said, we don't have a customer service here. And I said, well, what are you?
Yeah.
He said, well, really? I'm the ticket counter. Why don't you ticket somewhere to Louisville? He said, no, I don't work like that. Well, you tell me how it works. And so
he hands you another card with a
I was
scanned in.
very,
just scanned in.
I was very irritated.
Have you checked the website?
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh man. The problem with this whole story is we're tech savvy. There are a lot of people who are not.
True.
Right.
There are a lot of older people. If you look around, the older people on that plane, I saw one guy set a flip phone on the plane. I didn't know they made them anymore. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, the hurricane had came through, and when we were landing, we had no idea this was going on. We were sitting where we could see the stewardess. I can't say them. 2 stewardess. I can't get
Steward eye.
Yeah, there you go. And they were legit. They were legit praying coming in. I mean, we're in a 777. It's 5 in the middle, 3
Yeah.
on each. It's a big plane, and these ladies are. I mean, they're throwing. I'm like,
And you've got no clue what's going on.
yeah. And so I did not. I saw it, but and Lynn's like, you see them praying? I'm like, well, I saw them doing something. She said they were praying, and hey, we bounced 6 or 7 times before we finally got touched down. I'm like, hit the brakes on this thing already. Good gosh. So anyhow, they canceled a bunch of flights. And so
I'm really surprised when he seen him praying, he didn't go up there and throw the door up and be like, "Hey boys, y'all need some help driving this thing?"
Yeah.
Tell
I'm from
everyone on the left.
Sunfish. I can do this.
Whoever on the left will help you every time. So we get and I deal with this guy, and I am livid by the time I get done with him, because I don't know. The older I get, the easier it is to push my
Oh,
button.
yeah.
I mean, I have zero patience anymore.
I
And
don't
so,
yell as much because I run out of breath now. But
Well, I had not caused a scene. I had kept my tone down, but I'm like, I just want you to know, buddy, this is not good. This is the worst customer service I've had. You know, I don't know if it's United. I don't know if it's you. This is unacceptable. And so I turn around, and there's a news camera sitting there. And I walk past by, and they're setting this thing up. I said, are y'all with the news? He said, yeah. I said, are y'all going to interview people? He said, yeah, if we can find somebody. I said, I am your man. And so old boy says, really? I said, yeah.
You said I'm from Sunfish,
So what-
and they was this hurricane on the airplane.
He goes and takes his sweatshirt off where you can see the 42284.
Yeah, I had a 42284 podcast shirt
I did
on.
not know this. How come y'all didn't tell me this?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'd had a sweatshirt on, and when he told me yes, I mean, I peeled it off. Lindsay's like, you are shameless. You know, I was
I
like,
told you, bub. I told you there was something behind that.
And so they set their camera up and get up there, and I give them about a minute of, hey, you know. And so the funny part was I had to say my name and spell it and say where I was from and spell it. And so I did that with, you know, but they didn't play it. So I gave them about a minute of, hey, you know, we've been on a flight 10 hours. I understand they cancel flights. It happens every day. But when they refuse to help you and want to hand you this card, you know, it's crap. United has got a broke system. And I said, as the American traveler, we need help. Handing somebody this card is not a fix. You know, it cost me $2,000 because they canceled that flight by the time we stayed and rented cars and everything. And so, of course, they cut it down to me saying, we need help. This is not good. My wife has laughed and laughed and laughed. I bet she's played that clip 100 times.
I don't even know how to spell QR code.
Yeah, I didn't know that with a Q or
My flip phone don't do this.
yeah. So, well, they get done, and I turned to the old boy and I said, "So
Wait
what's
just a second. I really, when Bub was telling me about that and I seen the clip, I was expecting it any time you'd say 42284.
well,
Like just
Shameless
mid
plug.
interview, just break it.
yeah,
42284 podcast.
yeah. We need a do it a 422. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. We need to come up with that sign. We can do it
That's a whole
fast.
lot of counting.
Yeah. So we get done. I said, well, now what station can I catch us on tonight? Old boy says, CBS. And I said, well, I'm not from here. What CBS station? You on channel 4?
What's the number?
Yeah,
Y'all
is it
got
4?
5 up here?
Was it 4 or 5 at the CBS? Where?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, have y'all got channel 5 up here?
Yeah. And old boy looks at me, kind of cocks that head like a dog hearing a high-pitched noise. He said, any CBS. And I said, what? He said, yeah. And it didn't dawn on me what time of day it was. He
You're
said,
going to be on them all, buddy.
he said, this is going to be on the 6 o'clock news in about an hour and a half. I thought, uh-oh. And then I thought, nobody watches the news anymore. And so I thought I'd better tell you all. But I woke up Saturday morning, and my phone had blown up. They probably 30 people that text me, we just saw you on the national news. I say, that's my 5 seconds of fame. But, yeah, I peeled that shirt off. I think we ought to have a little competition who can get a T-shirt or an emblem or something in the most prominent place. You know, I think that'd be a good competition to have on.
You saying that kind of reminds me, you know, a couple months ago, tornado come through there at the house, ripped the roof off my shop. And I'm trying to get home. I pull down my driveway, stuff's everywhere, and I see my son walking up the driveway. He's got a pair of Christmas pajama pants on that are about a foot too short.
Caprice.
He has got one gray sock, one black sock, and a pair of Crocs on. At this time, he had long hair, like shoulder-length hair. And he had
Did
a
he
shirt.
cut it?
Yeah, he's cut it.
Oh, I didn't
He
know
had a
that.
shirt on. It looked like we had cleaned up an oil mess in the shop with it. And I pull up in my company truck, and I get out, and I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "Boy, Dad, I wish you'd seen it." He said, "I stand on the back porch," and he said, "I seen the roof leave," and he said, "I just had to stand there and watch it." I said, "You know, you're the guy that the news looks for." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Look at you. You look like you're homeless." And I said, "You seen all the action?" He said, "Are the news here?" I talked to him.
Are they coming?
Yeah. I said, "I don't know, but you need to go in the house before they get here."
Well, somebody, they saw that, they called me. They said, "Well, they say they always stick that camera in the biggest idiot in the group's face." I said, "Well, they picked it at that time."
Yeah.
Old boy told me, because he could tell I was mad. He said, "No, we don't need any profanity." I said, "Well, I'll do my best, but I'm living." He said, "I
Ain't
can
gonna
tell."
make no
What
promises.
if I cuss in Italian? Can you
Yeah,
play that?
yeah. Let me call old Wee Wee and see if she can drop me a line.
I know, I've learned some words this past week.
We ended up staying up in the city or one more night and showed the kids New York and flew back into Nashville, rented a car, drove home, got up Sunday morning. I had to drive back to Louisville to swap vehicles to get my vehicle back, and then got up there and couldn't find my vehicle. I don't know what it is about all them parking lots looking the same, but I wasn't even in the right parking lot. I was 3 off.
You're gonna have to start when you leave your vehicle there. Drop a pin on your
Yeah.
phone app.
Well, so I normally, like, we did that and we parking over there and do, but we don't ever fly out of Louisville. We fly out of Nashville 99% of the time. I can navigate to the airport and I'm blind.
You're just
but
off your game. That's
This
all
is
there was
the
to it.
yeah, the second time
He was
I
shook,
flew out
wasn't
here
he?
in the last
He was
10
shook,
years.
Nerves were done.
Yeah.
And she had got some kind of deal on parking because when you park at an airport, they get their. I mean, I wish I owned some of them lots. I mean, it's $15 to $18 a day. Well, when
Yeah.
you're gone 2 weeks, that's a bunch of money. And so she had found some kind of deal at this lot and prepaid for it. Well, it was way out in the middle of nowhere, and they'd been doing construction right in front of my vehicle, so it was a different color. When I got there, I kept thinking, I thought what finally got me on it was that 42284 sticker I've got on the back of it. I saw that. I thought, well, there it is, but why is it tan instead of brown? And I got over there, and I mean, it had like a half inch of dust on it where they'd been moving all that dirt in front of it.
Good thing you had the old 42284 sticker.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, anybody listening, if you ever get a chance, go to Europe. Europe's pretty. The agriculture over there, that's something I want to touch on. We get used to seeing agriculture around here. I mean, it basically, you drive anywhere in the state, it's similar. You see the same brand tractors, you see the same type of crops. Well, you get over there, they grow crops. I couldn't even tell you what it was. I mean, to be honest with you, and they got combines out there. Europe, England, all the equipment's new. I never have saw an old piece of equipment over there. You get into France, and it's kind of like around here. Some farmers have good stuff. Some farmers farm with old wore-out Alice chambers. But not really Alice's, but old wore-out tractors. The combines, sometimes you see new big ones. Sometimes you see old new ones. But the tractor we're seeing around here now, is it Fence?
Fence. Yeah.
They've been over there for years.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't realize this. They're AGCO. That's an AGCO corporation now. Mm-hmm. But you see a lot of old tractors over there that kind of have that old Dutch green color to them, but they got orange wheels, and you get up to them, they're Fence. But when you get into Italy's a poor country. It is. You can go over there; they'll give you a house if you want to move over. Right
Really?
now, yeah. You have to live so many years there and have to promise to remodel it. But they will literally give you a house, and they're just falling down. I mean, the farms are all dried up, and I mean, it's just not what it is around here. So. Charolais cattle. I had forgot Charolais cattle was a French breed. They are everywhere over there. There were some people who had them around here growing up. And I don't know. Does anybody mess with them anymore?
There may be a few
There's some.
around Caneyville.
Yeah,
but
that
I think
Angus.
that's it.
Everybody wants the Angus. Angus beef, and so. But that and Holstein cows are all you see over there. And I ask you all what a Holstein was that had red instead of black. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that's the chocolate milk one. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's the strawberry milk.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, it was a good time. So
Good deal. Glad you came back with some good stories.
I'm just glad you came back. I'm glad you made it back.
I was
Yeah, at
getting
least
worried. You're sitting here beside me. I
Yeah.
thought,
At least
how's
you
he-
got stranded in the United States and not stranded over there somewhere. So
I was just hoping, how's he going to get through that tow booth?
I know. That's what I
And
was
like you
thinking.
said, he's here. So
Well, that old
My
boy
nerves were
understand. Open the blankety blank blanker. I'm going to run through it.
it's just a good thing you didn't have the white truck over there.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the joke over there the whole time. we'd be in traffic, it'd be bumper to bumper. You know, I didn't get bumped. They say you'll get hit over there, and we took the insurance on rental cars. I never got bumped or anything, but I kept saying, I told Jack a few times, I turned around and said, I'm going to tell you, if I was in the Stallion, I'd make believers out of this over here. So I forgot to tell you all this. We were going to pick Jack up. We were going down the road, and I thought, I knew I forgot something. I called Jack. I said, do you have a ratchet strap? Yeah, why? Put a ratchet strap in your suitcase. You know, I got a black roll of that white electrical tape like we've got hundreds of rolls of in my suitcase. You know, I've got a little bit of everything. Because it's been driven from getting somewhere and needing something and not having it. Well, next time I take it.
Hey, we're gonna find you. We're gonna find you a skeleton key to put in your suitcase and some WD-40.
I was thinking crowbars.
Crowbars, dammers. They'll be too heavy.
You don't need to find me one because I may have accidentally kept one.
I got you.
Just for safety.
True.
For safety. But I took Lindsay one time. She had hairspray, and we got home and the cap had popped off and it sprayed a whole bottle of hairspray in our suitcase. And so I thought a roll of black electrical tape, and I taped the top on it now, you know. And so I tell Jackson, bring a ratchet strap with us. He says, why? I said, just bring a ratchet strap. And my thinking was, we got 4 full-size suitcases. All the cars over there are little. You can't rent a Tahoe. You rent a mid-size SUV, and that's it. So sure enough, we get to the first airport. We stick them 3 suitcases in there, and the door, I mean, I really got to sit down on it to get it shut. And Jack's like, what am I going to do with mine? Let's get that ratchet strap out.
Strap it on there.
Open them doors. We put a ratchet strap around it. So we're going down the road, and I hear something going, whoa. I thought, what's that noise? It just gets louder, and I said, I think we got a flat tire. Then it hits me. It's that ratchet strap vibrating up there. And so I had to get out and put a few twists in it. That flat ratchet strap, you know, hell of a lot, boy. I mean, it is really singing up there. But we go through a town, have that suitcase strapped up on top. They'd be people at cafes, and they'd all stop and look. Apparently nobody does that over there.
Taking selfies.
Yeah. You all seen the European Vacation with Chevy Chase?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know when they get in that roundabout, go around and around. So we found that roundabout. I think it's in London. No, it was London or Paris, but we found it. And I went around it about 3 or 4 times. I said, "Here we go!" Out we went. They're all hanging on. Of course, they've never seen the movie. They had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh my goodness!
You don't know what you're doing.
I've been deprived.